Hello, my name is Caparelli, and the title of my study is Pitch Perfect. Song sparrows adjust the frequency of their song in response to anthropogenic noise. Over the past 5 decades, North American bird populations have declined by 29% due to factors such as urbanization and the growth of the human population. With this increase in urbanization comes an increase in anthropogenic noise. Anthropogenic noise can mask acoustic communication in birds, and because birdsong is essential for mate attractions, reproduction, and territorial defense behaviors, masking can result in decreased reproductive success and delayed territorial defense behaviors. Previous studies have found that birds can adjust their song to avoid interference by anthropogenic noise. Specifically, birds can adjust the frequency and length of their song. Previous studies that have investigated song sparrow frequency adjustment have found conflicting results, and that Wood and Yazaranek 2006 found that song sparrows increase the minimum frequency of their song when exposed to louder levels of traffic noise, but maintain the maximum frequency of their song, while McKinley 2023 found that song sparrows maintain the minimum frequency of their song, but increase the maximum frequency of their song. Therefore, song sparrow frequency adjustment to anthropogenic noise is debated, and more research is necessary to better understand how these birds are adjusting their song. Additionally, in regards to strophe length, Lenski and Law 2014 found that white-throated sparrows increase the length of strophes in windy conditions and decrease the length of their strophes when spring peeper frogs chorused. Therefore, research has failed to investigate alterations in strophe length as a response to traffic noise, as this study investigated natural noise, and no study has yet to investigate strophe length alterations in other avian species such as song sparrows. Therefore, the purpose of this study was twofold: to determine how song sparrows adjust the frequency of their song, and to assess the effect that traffic noise has on strophe length in song sparrow song. It was hypothesized that song sparrows in areas with louder traffic noise shift the minimum frequency of their strophes upward, thereby decreasing their frequency bandwidth, and sing shorter song strophes due to fatigue from adjusting frequency. Data was collected at 6 study sites located at varying distances from roads to create a noise gradient. All data analysis and collection was conducted by me, as my mentor lives across the country and just served as a guide in my study. I used a Mic WI Shotgun 2 microphone to record birdsong in the field, and I used a Twisted Wave recorder app to collect my recordings, and the SPL-NN FFT noise meter app to collect background sound pressure level measurements. So the minimum and maximum SPL were taken over a 3-minute interval and then averaged out. And I used the Merlin Bird ID app to confirm bird species at the time of recording. Additionally, to bolster my sample sizes, I utilized Audio Moth field microphones, and these were left in the field at 2 of my study sites and programmed to record during the dawn chorus between 6 and 8 a.m. So these were put in Ziploc bags with tampons to avoid water damage and were duct taped to trees for 1 week. I used Audacity to analyze my song and made manual measurements to measure out my variables. So I measured out the minimum frequency, maximum frequency, the difference between the two or the frequency bandwidth, and the length of the song or the strophe length. Data was organized using Microsoft Excel and then graphed using GraphPad Prism 9. It was found that song sparrows significantly increased the minimum frequency of their song as background SPL increased. As you can see, this gray bar here represents the average frequency of traffic noise, so you can see that these birds actually did upshift their song to avoid interference by that similar frequency. It was also found that song sparrows significantly increased their minimum frequency at near road versus far from road sites, and using multiple linear regression, it was found that distance from road was the only variable to have a significant effect on minimum frequency adjustment, further verifying the results found in my correlation and t-test. However, no significant adjustment was found in maximum frequency as background SPL increased, and no change was found at near road versus far from road sites. However, song sparrows did show to significantly decrease the frequency bandwidth of their song as background SPL increased, and significantly decrease their frequency bandwidth at near road versus far from road sites. Using a multiple linear regression, it was found that both distance from road and time played significant effects on frequency bandwidth adjustment. So distance from road played a significant effect because being closer to the road meant being exposed to louder levels of traffic noise. However, time may be attributed to fatigue. So the song sparrows in my study did show to increase their minimum frequency, and they're singing in a frequency bandwidth that is therefore different than what they're normally used to. So this can actually result in neuromuscular fatigue and an even greater decrease in their frequency bandwidth. And finally, no significant change was found in strophe length as background SPL increased, and no significant change was found at near road versus far from road sites. So as mentioned before, song sparrows may have increased their minimum frequency to overcome masking by the similar low frequency anthropogenic noise that traffic noise is, and this can result in a decreased frequency bandwidth, and this can have harmful effects on individual and populations of song sparrows. Increasing minimum frequency can be metabolically expensive and have energy costs, resulting in decreased individual health and decreased population health if multiple birds are making these adjustments. Additionally, females in previous studies have shown to be less attracted to birds that sing with decreased frequency bandwidths, meaning that these females are less likely to mate and reproduce with these males that adjust their song, and this can result in decreased reproductive success and decreased population sizes over time. Now, McKinley 2023 study found that song sparrows did increase the maximum frequency of their song, while my study did not, and this can be attributed to geographical variations. Previous studies have found that birds in different areas sing and adjust their songs differently. So the birds in my study in New York did not adjust their maximum frequency, while the birds in McKinley 2023's study in Virginia did. So these geographical variations can explain the difference in song adjustment in these two studies. Now, my study found novel strophe length results in song sparrows, as this has never yet been investigated in song sparrows, and I found that these birds did not adjust their strophe length, while previous studies such as Lenski and Law 2014 found that white-throated sparrows did increase the length of their strophes in louder areas, and Potvin et al. 2013 found that Australian magpies decreased their song duration when exposed to urban noise. Therefore, variations in strophe length may be species-specific, and song sparrows may not possess the ability to adjust their strophe length, while the birds in these other studies do have this ability. Some limitations in my study include other sources of natural and anthropogenic noise, such as cicada choruses and airplane noise. While these interferences cannot fully be ruled out, the best effort was done to avoid them by placing study sites away from interferences such as river noise and not recording while interferences were occurring. Additionally, as mentioned before, my measurements were made manually, meaning that I sat on my computer and clicked out labels to measure these out, so there's a bit of a margin of human error. However, this margin is limited as I did my data analysis all on my own as opposed to being in a group. So in a group, you don't know if everyone's measuring out the song the same way, but since I do it myself, I know that I'm measuring out my songs in the same way in each recording. Future research should focus on vocal plasticity in other avian species and mating success in song sparrows that do adjust their song. So do the birds in my study actually experience decreased mating success due to the frequency adjustments in their song? The findings of my study contribute to the understanding of vocal plasticity in avian species and emphasizes the exigency to mitigate and manage noise pollution. In conclusion, my study investigated song sparrow song adjustment as a response to traffic noise, and it was found that these birds increased their minimum frequency and decreased their frequency bandwidth, while they did not adjust their maximum frequency or their strophe length. Vocalization adjustments can allow avian species to overcome masking by anthropogenic noise, but frequency adjustments can have a cost on song sparrow energy consumption, health, and mating behaviors. I would like to thank my mentor, my science research teachers, and my family and friends for their help and support. Thank you.